Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. The Bachelor Matt James has had eyes for Rachael Kirkconnell since she stepped out to meet him night one, and their relationship continues to flourish. However, at the beginning of the season, a former classmate of Rachael's started ugly accusations about her. She alleged that Rachael bullied her for dating black men. Since then, the Georgia native has had photos appear online showing her attending an Old South ball wearing an antebellum plantation dress. So, needless to say, the rumors are still flying. Now, Matt is speaking out himself about the controversy and allegations. Matt James speaks out in response to Rachael Kirkconnell controversy. Entertainment Tonight caught up with Matt to talk about the scandal that has been plaguing Rachael. Matt said, "I have not spoken to anybody since the show ended, but I would say that you have to be really careful about what you are doing on social media." He continued, "Rumors are dark and nasty and can ruin people's lives. So I would give people the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully she will have her time to speak on that." He continued saying, "There's a lot of stuff going around about the women that were involved in the show." Matt also said, "I would just give them a chance to kind of have their piece, whether that is someone who was gone night one or someone who went home last night. Everyone has a story, and I would just be receptive to that." Since then, the new photos emerged of Rachael in her plantation dress. Matt has not spoken up about the newest set of allegations and rumors. Of course, Rachael is unable to defend herself at the moment since she's still in the running for Matt's heart. So, Reality Steve is even considering bringing her family members on her podcast to help clear the air. Matt is hoping Rachael will be able to break her silence soon and speak her truth. Matt and Rachael. There's no doubt Matt is completely smitten with Rachael, and these two have both admitted they have never really been in love before. Matt and Rachael told each other they were falling in love with each other on their one-on-one date. Time will tell if she's the one for him. He admitted it feels right whenever he's with her. Following him declaring he was falling for her, he did speak out about why he did it. Matt said, "Having not been part of The Bachelorette before I was The Bachelor, I didn't know the rules and regulations of how to use that word." The continued, "And so, whenever I felt something, I said it. And I only said things that I meant and felt. So if that got tossed around a few times, it's because I felt it. And if it doesn't, then that means that connection hadn't gotten to that point yet." Things are looking good for these two if they can get past the rumors. James finally breaks his silence on Rachael Kirkconnell controversy. "I felt betrayed." No one expected Matt James' season of The Bachelor to end in such a firestorm of emotions, controversy, and heartbreak. As the franchise's first black male lead, Matt made history, but his final rose wasn't the end of the story. Months after cameras stopped rolling, the scandal surrounding contestant Rachael Kirkconnell's racially insensitive past exploded, threatening to overshadow their relationship and everything Matt stood for. Now, for the first time in over a year, Matt James is opening up in a Bombshell interview that has fans in complete shock. "I felt betrayed," Matt confessed. "Not just by her, by the show, the process, even myself." What follows is a deep dive into Matt's emotional roller coaster, the backlash he faced, Rachael's attempts at redemption, and the unexpected place they find themselves today. You think you know the story, but you haven't heard it like this. Chapter 1. The fairy tale beginning that fell apart. When Matt James stepped into the role of The Bachelor in 2021, millions of viewers were hopeful. Finally, the franchise was embracing diversity, or so it seemed. Matt was charming, intelligent, and determined to find love. Enter Rachael Kirkconnell, the Southern belle with a dazzling smile and a heart that seemed as pure as gold. Their chemistry was undeniable. From their one-on-one in Pennsylvania to the tear-filled finale, where Matt chose her over frontrunner Michelle Young, fans were rooting for the pair. Social media exploded with support. #MattAndRachel trended for weeks. But just as America was celebrating a new era in Bachelor Nation, Skeletons from the past came crashing through. Chapter 2. The leak that shook everything. It started with a Reddit thread. Then came the photos. Rachael attending an antebellum-themed party in college, liking racially insensitive content, and dressing in Native American attire at a costume event. Bachelor Nation gasped. So did Matt. I remember waking up to a dozen missed calls, he recalls. My publicist, producers, even friends from back home. And when I opened Twitter, my heart sank. Rachael's past, which had remained buried during filming, was now front and center. Apologies were issued. Damage control spiraled. And Matt, he was left speechless. Chapter 3. Silence, then SEVERENCE. In a move that shocked fans, Matt refused to stand by Rachael. During the After the Final Rose special, filmed in secret and aired weeks later, Matt sat on the couch next to a tearful Rachael and ended things. As a black man, I just didn't feel like I could move forward in good conscience, he said then. But off camera, he was breaking. People expected me to be angry, to yell or drag her. But all I felt was numbness. I had fallen for her, and suddenly she was a stranger. He moved back to New York, dodging paparazzi and criticism alike. Everyone had an opinion, from Chris Harrison's infamous interview to Rachel Lindsay's brave commentary. Matt stayed quiet until now. Chapter 4. Mated breaks his silence, and he doesn't hold back. I knew eventually I'd talk, Matt says in a candid interview from his Manhattan apartment. But I had to do the healing first. That healing, he says, included therapy, long walks in Central Park, and cutting ties with Bachelor Nation entirely for a while. I didn't owe them anything, he says bluntly. But he wasn't prepared for the DMs, the hate comments, and the people calling him the villain. People thought I was too harsh, that I abandoned her, that I made it about race. But it was about race, and accountability, and the fact that I was expected to smile through pain. Again? Chapter 5. Rachel's redemption journey, real or re-RCD. To her credit, Rachael didn't disappear. She issued a lengthy Instagram apology, deleted old photos, and began working with anti-racism educators. But skeptics weren't convinced. Matt watched from a distance. At first, I didn't want to see it. I thought she was doing it for optics, for PR, he admits. But then she sent me a letter. Handwritten, 8 pages. That letter, which Matt still keeps in a drawer, wasn't just an apology. It was, he says, a reckoning. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She asked for understanding. I cried reading it, he confesses. That was the first time I thought, maybe she gets it. Chapter 6. The Secret Meeting in Atlanta. Months after their public split, Matt and Rachael met again, away from cameras, headlines, and judgment. The location? A small cafe in Atlanta. It wasn't romantic, Matt says. We didn't even hug at first. We just sat and talked for 4 hours. They covered everything. The photos, the fallout, the pain of being labeled. Rachael listened. Matt spoke. They both cried. She told me she didn't want to defend herself. She wanted to grow. That meant a lot. Chapter 7. The Unexpected Reunion. Over the next few months, Matt and Rachael stayed in touch. Cautiously. Quietly, they FaceTimed. They exchanged book recommendations. Eventually, they even met up again, this time in New York. But Matt makes one thing clear. We didn't get back together right away. That wasn't the goal. So what was? Closure, maybe, or clarity, or just friendship. Bachelor Nation, of course, didn't stay in the dark for long. When paparazzi caught the pair holding hands in NYC, the internet lost its mind. Chapter 8. Backlash 2.0 and Matt's response. Once again, critics came for Matt. You forgave her too easily, some said. You sold out. But Matt is unmoved. Forgiveness isn't weakness, he says, and it doesn't mean forgetting. It means recognizing someone's humanity. He also credits Rachael for doing the work. She wasn't performative. She read the books, had the conversations, put in the hours when no one was watching. He pauses, then adds, I saw the change in her eyes, and that mattered more to me than what the internet thought. Chapter 9. Where they stand now, together again. So, are they together? Matt smiles. We're taking things slow, but yes, we're seeing each other again. The couple has been spotted attending charity events, volunteering together, and even working on a podcast about navigating public relationships and racial dynamics. I never thought we'd get to this place, Matt says, but I'm glad we did. Not for the cameras, for us. Chapter 10. His MESSAG to fans, haters, and the franchise. Matt isn't naive about the road ahead. He knows there will be doubters, critics, maybe even more scandals. But he's not hiding anymore. To anyone who feels betrayed, I get it, he says. I felt that way too. But healing isn't linear, and love, it's messy, complicated, beautiful. He also has a message for Bachelor Nation itself. Do better. Don't tokenize people and call it progress. Make space for real stories, real pain, real love. And his message to Rachael? I see you, the real you, and I'm proud of how far you've come. EPILOGUE, a Love story still being written. As of today, Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell are cautiously, but officially, back together. Not as a fairy tale couple, not as reality show pawns, but as two people trying to grow beyond a painful past. Their love story may not be perfect, but it's real. And sometimes, that's all that matters.